None of the BTS members intentionally enlisted in the military. They saw it as a duty they had to fulfill as citizens of their country, but it wasn't something they did happily. Who would want to leave their career, their fans, their music, to face a completely different life? It was a challenging stage, and they knew it well. But here's the interesting thing, and one that some people seem to overlook, is that even though Jungkook wasn't sure about the idea of enlisting in the military in general, there was something that gave him comfort. Something that made the experience less difficult to accept, that he would be sharing that stage with Taehyung, Jimin, and the others. And this Jungkook can be very transparent with his emotions even though he doesn't say it perfectly. He always reveals the little things that give him strength, the reasons that keep him going. And in this case, Taehyung and Jimin are the reasons. Knowing that he wouldn't face all of this alone, that he would have his best friend by his side, was something that comforted him in a way that was impossible to ignore. A moment that perfectly demonstrated this happened in one of the chapters of What He Used to Do, especially in the last chapter. This is where things got exciting and even a little fun. It turned out that Taehyung and Jimin had received a message from Jin telling him that he had a dream about him, that he saw him in the military. When Taehyung and Jimin with their small faces that combined tenderness and mischief told Jungkook, his reaction was pure gold. At first Jungkook was a little angry and as usual but very sincere said something like, "Did you say he dreamed about you?" It wasn't a dream, it was reality. Because for Jungkook it was already a fact that he and Taehyung and Jimin would be enlisting in the same month, and anything else didn't make sense to him. But then came the sentence that made us all sigh, "Why wasn't I in the dream? If he knew we were going together it would hurt me." Jungkook. Always so intense. And dramatic, and this is where we all melt, because this small interaction reveals something very important to Jungkook. Sharing real life with Taehyung and Jimin is not enough. No, he wants to be with Taehyung and Jimin on every possible level, now, in the future, and even in other people's dreams. As if his connection with Taehyung and Jimin is so strong, so special, that it needs to surpass everything, even the subconscious barrier. And just think for a moment, Jungkook didn't ask for anything, he just wanted to appear in Jin's dream with Taehyung and Jimin. In a dream, can you imagine how strong the bond must be for someone to feel the need to be present even in someone else's vision? It's as if he's saying, if we're going to go through this together, I want this to be over not only in the real world, but wherever we are, even in dreams. This moment also reminds us how deep the relationship of the BTS members is. Taehyung and Jimin have always been emotional pillars for Jungkook, people who understand him without the need for words, who know exactly what he needs in difficult times. And for Jimin and Taehyung, Jungkook is just as important. He is someone he can be completely himself with, someone who is always there to support him, to laugh with him, to give him strength when he needs it. And of course, the fact that Jungkook was hurt because he didn't appear in Jin's dream is not just a cute detail. It is further proof of how much he values his relationship with Taehyung and Jimin, how much they mean to him, with those special people. Because it's not just that they are going to the military in the same month. This is what it means emotionally to have Taehyung and Jimin by his side in such an important and difficult stage. Facing military service is not easy for anyone, especially for someone like Jungkook, who has spent most of his life dedicated to his music. For his fans it's a big change, but knowing that he is not alone, that he has Taehyung and Jimin by his side makes a big difference. Taehyung and Jimin are his refuge, his emotional anchor, and the people who make him feel that no matter what happens, if they are there, it will be okay. Because yes, Jungkook, there is no definite answer to go to the military. But if there is something that excites him, and if there is something that gives him a little peace, it is the idea of going through this experience with Taehyung and Jimin. Knowing that no matter what happens they will have each other. Knowing that no matter how far they are from their normal lives, from music, from their fans, they will always have that special someone who makes everything more bearable. And this is what makes the BTS members so special. It is not just friendship, but it is a relationship that goes beyond words, beyond circumstances, even in the hardest times. When everything seems uncertain, there is something that will never change, and that is when they are together. And that relationship does not only exist in real life. Jungkook makes it very clear that he wants to be with Taehyung and Jimin everywhere, even in other people's dreams. Because being together in reality is not enough, they have to be together in all areas and in all dimensions. And that, my friends, is something that only a few relationships can achieve. Jungkook's documentary I Am still comes with many surprises, emotional moments, and of course with small details that only eagle-eyed BTS armies can catch. And if there's one thing we know, whenever there's something related to BTS members, chaos is guaranteed. Because there's no way they've got that one thing that makes us all gasp. Even in all 3 chapters of the documentary, even for a second, something comes up. Well, when you read it in a documentary that theoretically focuses on Jungkook, Taehyung, and Jimin who have their moments. Because if we've learned anything over the years, that's where Jungkook is and Taehyung and Jimin can't be missed, so it's like a universal law. But amidst all those little appearances, there's one moment that really makes a splash, and it happens in the next episode. There at the beginning of the chapter, they show us a clip of them backstage. A moment that at first glance seems coincidental, but BTS armies, we already know that with them there's no such thing as casual. There's always something more, something that makes our mouths drop open and our hearts beat a million miles an hour. And this is where the magic of it all begins, because one thing we do know is that Taehyung, Jungkook, and Jimin have a unique and unmatched style.